Tell me I'm all right. Tell me I look good. They put that in dress up. Oh! They do the same thing to us in the messaging. Oh, that looks good on you. Keep on doing it. All the time is the verb playing with it is. I don't know if you've seen that movie now, I'm not going to it. No, there was one scene that was coming from the park. The monkey all he knew was signs at that point. So the one that had him on the leash, he said, "No, you're not a pet. We have got to stop letting these people make pets out of us and our children." Start letting them treat us like we don't need them something. And the Prophet himself says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how often is it that one who knows less understands more? And a lot of things don't get technically. I come from a gene pool that was about knowing even when we didn't know the language. Slave master was still depending on me to teach his son and daughter how to be the next slave master. And when the slave master himself got into a traumatic, psychologically depressing situation, he goes straight to old chicken jaws. Chicken jaws are like the moon flies south in the summer, whatever. He just say something crazy. But to be the wisdom that the slave master, oh my God.
That's right.
And he go back to rooting. What am I saying? Don't play yourself cheap. When the slave girl becomes pregnant for her mistress, so brothers and sisters, I've been out of things, but my thing is definitely don't sell out. I'm not selling out. We can learn. We have a lot to learn, technically. But don't get it at the price of your soul. Don't get it at the price of your destiny. Don't get it at the price of your future generations' presence in this environment. And don't excuse yourself from studying. Don't excuse yourself from learning. So Imam Muhammad, part of this, mashallah, part of this dying frustration was the failure of those of us who lead to learn the technical aspects of the religion. And this is the price we pay for it, because when others have the technical aspect and we're not providing for our young people, then that becomes a tail that draws our future away from us. And they get the best energies and potency from our generation for their benefit. I have to beg you for one more moment, brothers and sisters. I have to give you a very important illustration. Just trying to give you an illustration from nature. Do you know that first the Portuguese had slavery, then the Dutch had slavery, then the British took over the trade? When the British took over from the Dutch had a very laissez-faire treatment of Muslims. Minorities were a large part of the slave population. And Muslims were free to be Muslim. They were slaves, but they were free to be Muslim. And there were many converts to Al-Islam through the slaves among the Dutch. When the British took over, they said, what is this? And then this Islam spread around these slaves. So when they took over, they said, I got it. So they started a hard missionary program, 1808, around the time. Missionary, proselytizing, missionary work among the slaves. And when they They were eager, the British, they were eager to dominate the Muslim world, but they couldn't do it in country. So what they did, they took the slaves that they had here and trained some of them in all of the niceties and all of the etceteras that would make them become appealing to the fellows on the continent. And then they sent them back as missionaries. Then the conversion process among them started happening more vigorously. Why? Because they had some that looked like them, that understood their culture, their background. But then they had this other little thing. And what happened as a result is that more of them began to become Christians. Understand this, I have this for people who been through the process, trained on the process. Some of you know about the spook that sat by the door. I've talked to some of the spooks that sat by the door I'm talking about. And they said the goal was to set up Islamic zones in America. This was 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Because those black Muslims, in this particular time, Imam, said that they are tinkerers, they are autodidactic, they are playing around with the religion, they don't know the religion. So what we have to do is we have to train those who will go back and set up Islam the way it's supposed to be set up. So they take them over, give them very proper treatment, very proper training, etc., and then send them back. Life is a series of repetitive events linked by a chain of recurrent relations. Okay, so we couldn't get you directly, but we're going to send some that look like you, and talk like us, and think like us. But you're not going to be able to tell the difference, because we practice also in elephant training. Thank you for your patience. I gotta say this. Elephant training. You know how elephants get trained? How they wind up in the circus? Here's how it starts. They get the first elephant and they scare it with flames. They get it going, scare it, and get it back into a cage. Puts it in a cage, and the cage is a confine for that elephant. But then they start stroking the elephant from outside the cage. So the elephant can get used to being handled by human hands. And then once the elephant get used to being handled by human, then they take it to the extent where they can get a rider on top of this now trained elephant. Then the rider rides the elephant back out to the elephant herd. But the other elephants don't even see the little man riding in the head of this elephant. And so this elephant is trained to lure it by raised pigeons. You know, you shoot your pigeon up to pull off some strays, to get them strays back to your coop. Same with this elephant. So the elephant brings the other elephants back now, and they come willingly. And then the same process happens. So what I'm saying is that now individuals who've been used to being manipulated in that way, they are inured to it. And now they come back to you. And if you can't recognize that mind riding their head, you're going to be in the circus too. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.